It's Parallel Frequencies with Just Blane and Coco and all of our freaks out there. I know they're out there. I know they're listening. I know they're watching. What's up, Coco? What do you got? What are you drinking over there? What is it? What are you clanking
It's
around?
my mocha, my typical mocha in my Empress tarot mug, because
Okay.
that is who I like to invoke when I drink out of this mug. I like to invoke the Empress vibes. I'm just chilling, sitting back, relaxing. It's okay. We're just here hanging out. How about you? How are you feeling?
I got a little under. I'm a little under the weather. You can hear it. You can tell. It's there. Can't hide it. Sorry if I start to snotting and snorting and all that stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's cold season. I think it's cold season. And where we're at, where we live at, the weather's starting to change a little bit. We had some crazy winds and stuff going on. That's wild. So yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with that. That cup looks a lot like some Game of Thrones type stuff right there. Speaking of,
I do have some Game of Thrones. I actually have a whole goblet that's all of the 4 main houses that sits on my altar for holding liquids.
I like that. Did you catch up? Because we're going to talk about Night of the Seven Kingdoms next week. You caught up?
I did. I'm all caught up. It cut to me Googling a Targaryen family tree because I needed to know who's who. Who's related to this person? What is the family tree?
I can't wait to break that down because we're going to watch the finale Sunday. I believe it's the finale. And then we're going to break it down on Tube Tuesday next week.
I'm ready.
But yeah, no spoilers right here. We'll give you the spoilers next week. But yeah, looking up the Targaryen family tree and figuring out who is who. And it's fun. But it really took off after episode 2 or 3. Game of Thrones, it had a slow start. We were expecting, all this craziness. It's getting there. It's getting there. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about that.
It definitely does get there. I mean, I would tell, because the last time we mentioned on this podcast, I was like, I'm in like episode 2 and I'm kind of like finding myself getting distracted. I wasn't like in it.
Yeah.
But hang in there, people. If you're like me and you needed to get a couple episodes in, it picks up. We're rolling now.
We got a real life Game of Thrones going on right now. Well, at least the closest we can get. But the Olympics, are you watching this Winter Olympics? You seen any
I
of
have
this?
just here and there. I'm not like a super avid watcher. Like I'm not religiously watching, but man, I should be. There's some scandals. There's some drama. There's some. It's got all of the entertainment.
Would you believe this? This is how I'm going to lay it out. That the Winter Olympics, you got these sports. You got people hurling themselves down a mountain at 100 miles an hour. You got people strapping on blades to their feet and skating around on some hard ice. But the biggest scandal and controversy is in curling.
Yeah.
Curling, the one that they
the one that everybody's still wondering why it's an event.
I swear, and this is not knocking any of the curling people out there, but I guarantee you I get a team of me and 2-3 buddies together and we can have a Olympic curling team within 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. I guarantee you.
But no disrespect. That's a great event. I honestly love watching it.
I just can't believe out of all these crazy sports they've got skeleton. How about the skeleton? Where they throw themselves head first down a pipe. No controversies there, but curling's where it's at. And they got people touching the rock twice and doing this and accusing of cheat. It's getting scandalous.
Can I get on my soapbox for just a second and say, hey, to the guy, the Canadian curling athlete that's part of that scandal, I watched that video and here's what I have to say about it. I just need people to just hear me out.
Okay.
Yes, he deserves discipline. Absolutely. He cheated. We can see it. But can we give the guy some grace as far as how we feel about him personally? I really feel like I want to give people the benefit of the doubt that maybe he just, in the moment, he was so focused on like, get it there, that his finger just popped right out there. I mean, like, I just think give some people grace, like he's going to be punished and disciplined for what he did. And that's enough. Like, let's all just let it be and just be like, oh, sorry, dude. I'm sorry that happened. He's probably a good person that just, made a mistake. Can we do that? Can we agree to that?
We could let them duel it out with a skeleton run each and see which one of them comes out first. I like that idea. Like, let's put them into another
Trial
sport.
by combat.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that would be a better way to duel it out. The Olympics, though, they always get me because you got these people who this is their entire life they've spent doing this, and
Yeah.
they either become forgotten with one mistake, or they become a national treasure, and that's wild to me.
I know.
That it's just that thin. National treasures, though, is kind of what we're talking about here on Wistful Wednesday in Catherine O'Hara, because she was a legitimate national treasure to many nations, to the world. She's a world treasure, if you ask me. She's a generational talent, a woman who could pronounce bebe 17 different ways and make each one feel like a Shakespearean spell. She was great at that. But remember that in Schitt's Creek, of course.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that we're going to say this. We're going to celebrate the whole resume. But let's be honest, we're really here for Moira Rose. I love Schitt's Creek and what she did. You know, but Coco, can we admit one thing? There are actors who play characters, and then there are actors who become folklore. Catherine O'Hara became folklore in a black and white wig.
Just epic. I'm wearing my black and white sweatshirt in honor of almost the entire wardrobe of David and Moira in Schitt's Creek, right? I just watched the episode last night, actually, where she's trying to dress like a poor person to get the car, and she ends up with this accent that's totally sort of British Cockney. We're not really sure. Johnny Rose is like, I would like to know myself. I don't really know where this is coming from. But when she gets out of the car and he says, "What is with your outfit?" David is standing there. "What is with your outfit?" She's like, "This is your outfit."
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Oh, classic.
That entire show just full of that kind of stuff. But before we get to the Schitt's Creek stuff, let's look at Catherine O'Hara before Moira. She's the blueprint. Zoom out way back. SCTV legend, an improvisation assassin, comedy royalty before royalty was even cool in that world. Home Alone, Beetlejuice, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, the Christopher Guest cinematic universe of controlled chaos. She has always had this ability to make absurdity feel elegant. Did she not? Like, that's really what she was. She was this well put together woman, character, everything she was, but it was absurd what was going on around her. And she kind of did all of this while holding a glass of something that cost more than your car payment. You know? So I think what made her special too is that she never punched down. Mm-hmm. Her characters were eccentric, dramatic, delusional even, but never were they like cruel. Mm-hmm. Sure, there's some Schitt's Creek jokes in there, but it was never really full-blown mean. But there's empathy in her. Yeah.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek. I have a lot to say about her characters, Moira, but like you said, if we go way back, I just have, if I could sum up her career, I would say at one point I wanted to be an actress. At one point that was my intentions, my destiny, I thought. And if I could pick one actress's career to have had, if I could have had that as an actress, it would be Catherine O'Hara. It would be her career. The roles that she played. And I was introduced to Christopher Guest movies at a very young age. So this is nostalgic, Wistful Wednesday, going way back. Cookie Fleck in Best in Show was one of my first introductions. I mean, the most likable couple. I was convinced the Best in Show was a presentation of what couples should be, right? That the couple that wins, that has the dog that wins Best in Show, is also the couple that is most integrated, best team of the couples, right? So I thought that was the moral of the story in Best in Show. Then you have A Mighty Wind. Oh, Sheila
Yeah.
Albertson in Waiting for Guffman. My parents and I all did community theater growing up. So Waiting for Guffman was one of our absolute like anthems as far as how does community theater in a small town actually look and work. My favorite part in that movie is Catherine O'Hara doing Sheila, and I want to be one of those subtle actresses that closes their eyes when they're speaking to you, and then opens their eyes when they're speaking away, and then closes their eyes when they're speaking to you. And then, and that became Moira Rose, right? When she took
Yeah.
that part later. So I cannot say enough nice things about all of these parts that she played, all a little different, but all a little bit of herself bubbling up out of it in just the most beautiful way. I cannot not say enough about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And voice acting, we have Nightmare Before Christmas, which
Sally.
is I
Just
was
about
Sally
to
and
say
the Little
that.
Witch
Yeah.
in the Lock, Shock, and Barrel trio. She sang the songs for the trio. She was in Wild Robot, Elemental. She did a lot of great voice acting too. So I just wanted to throw that into the ring.
She was
as
in
we're
some
considering.
sci-fi stuff. She even hit some sci-fi or some horror movies. Tales from the Crypt, The Outer Limits. She was in some of those episodes. I like to look at the deep stuff. Mad TV. She was on Mad TV.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a whole lot of the other ones. And Chicken Little, she's a voice in that one you missed. It's hard to get them all. There's so many different ones, and I'm just looking at it right here. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Episode there. 30 Rock even. She was on 30 Rock.
Oh,
Modern
yes.
Family. Most of these shows that we love and watch over and over and over. And then it gets us to Schitt's Creek. That's an iconic show. There were so many people on that show that are iconic for that role. And they all, it was hard to really stand out, but they all stood out in their own ways, especially Catherine O'Hara.
Mm-hmm.
And Moira Rose was a masterclass in reinvention. The wigs, the accent that sounds like it was raised by diplomats in a haunted castle, the vocabulary that requires subtitles in a dictionary. But beneath all of that theatricality, Moira is a woman who lost everything. Money, status, identity. Instead of shrinking, she doubled down on who she was. That's the part that I think most people miss in this, is that she didn't really humble herself. She just she adapted without apologizing for who she was and what she was doing. And she learned to grow. She did grow. She never erased herself. She never got rid of anything that she ever did. And she took everything to the extreme because that's who she was. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking as I've been doing my rewatch of Schitt's Creek, and it's been praised over and over again for how it portrays a world that maybe isn't realistic, but that we would like it to be, where sexuality or class differences or anything like that just kind of ceases to be judged at all. And it's just accepted. And in a small town in America, to find that kind of acceptance may be a little bit of a stretch even to this day, but we love Schitt's Creek for portraying what that would look like. And the more that I thought about that as I watched it, the more I realized that it didn't just accept, like, for example, David and Patrick's relationship as, as a gay couple, or, whatever people might, however they might live their lives. It was just absolutely like matter of fact. This is just what it is, and everybody accepts it, and nobody has any thoughts about it, and it just is. But I'm realizing as Moira, how accepted she was. She was, and the series starts pretentious and a lot of looking down on the lifestyle and way of life of this small town where people don't have a lot of money and things are just less modern, less up to date, less bougie. And she's, let's not say we did, and a little bit more of that. But as the series goes on, you see how the town accepts Moira almost in such a way that they know she's judging them.
Yeah.
They absolutely know it, and they don't condone her for it or alienate her for it. Like she just is who she is. She
Yeah.
gets to say the things that she says, even as they're a little bit backhanded compliments that we see a lot with these type of characters. But even still, you see like Jocelyn and Twyla and the Jazzy girls, and they're just kind of like, okay, thanks, Moira, and they move on. And they still invite her to things. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's the most unrealistic part about this show. If there was something, I grew up in a small town in northern Utah, small town. And I can say that being accepted when you're a little different, or you don't think like everyone else, or you're kind of a transplant into that culture, as I was, being totally accepted like that, not as realistic. But what Schitt's Creek showed us, or what Moira's character showed us, is that what would that look like if we were? What would that look like if we were put in there and it was just, I come how I am, and I want to be a part of you?
I think that's a great point, because now that I'm thinking about it, it's like Schitt's Creek was emotional safety. This whole town, the whole show, they could have gone cynical, they could have gone mean, they could have leaned into humiliation. It never did. It gave us a world, a town where growth was normal. It wasn't trauma-coded. It just, like you said, matter of fact, it just existed. Catherine O'Hara's performance, Moira, helped anchor that tone, though. The bigger she was and the more that they were accepting of it, the more it was like, oh, this is just how it is. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff that was just incredible performances. And she
not a weak character or actor in the whole cast. I don't think.
Not at all. And Moira is dramatic. She loves her family fiercely, and that's another great trait to have. It's like a mom will go to whatever causes to help her family, and I love that. I loved her portrayal of this character. So.
Yeah, and a little bit wacky and a little bit out of the ordinary. And obviously, just the way that she interacts with people, it may be kind of a turnoff. I mean, for most people, it could be like, oh, she's looking down on us, or she's so pretentious, or but she portrays it in such a way that is so likable. I mean, how difficult that must be. Again, this is a credit to Catherine O'Hara and her talents, but just to make a character like that so likable that you still are like, okay, she can still hang around. She's still welcome here. We're just going to tolerate her quirky way of being. And I loved showing the research that she had done behind the dialect that she wanted Moira's speech. And it kind of develops as the series goes, but it's inspired by Katharine Hepburn's diction, but also Marilyn Monroe's breathiness. And it's intentionally inconsistent. So you're never really totally sure where that dialect is coming from, or how she's going to pronounce certain words next. And it just makes it so absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah. And she does that accent because she refuses to be small. She's got to be noticed. She's got to be whatever in that room to whoever is watching, is paying attention. But she doesn't really care who does and who doesn't. My favorite Moira moment is not when she's actually her. It's Dr. Clara Mandrake in
The Crows Have Eyes.
The Crows Have Eyes 3. Number 3 now. But what I loved about that character and the craziness and the over the top and the bizarre look of it, where she's got, it's wild, but
the feathers and the speech, which, I mean, we're making fun of her character because she's supposed to be kind of a not that great soap opera actress that just kind of blew her ego out of proportion, and it sort of makes fun of her. But to be honest, and I think they portrayed this very well, is when she does that monologue as the character, it's great. She does such a good job that you're like, well, she's not actually a bad actress. She's making the best of this role. Does a fantastic job.
She was incredible. And I think that once again, yes, it's funny. That's a great, hilarious moment. But that is Catherine O'Hara. That's how she took every role she ever did seriously. She made it her own. She figured it out. And
Oh my God. Yeah.
that's what I saw in this terrible movie. I'd watch that movie, though. Would you watch The Crows Have Eyes
We'd
3?
be covering it over here. We would be like, we're going to cover it, whether it's good or not. We got to talk about The Crows Have Eyes. I feel like they
Probably
should
be
make
on the
that.
red carpet for that, yeah.
To be a really, really good comedic actress as she was, you really do have to play it not comedically. It has to be authentic. It has to be like, I'm not a joke. I am who I am. And I think that's why it came across so well and so hilarious to the rest of us, because we're like, she doesn't know she's a joke.
Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara had to play Moira Rose and any of the, I mean, you could go down the list of all of these characters that she played in all the Christopher Guest movies. She had to play it as, this person's not a joke. This person's a real person. And this person believes that they are worthy and deserving of all of this, what they get.
It's because authenticity is not always about being simple. It's about being honest. And that's what she does. Like, she tries to do that. She gave us permission to be theatrical about our pain. That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun to me, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but it showed that, you know, okay, we could do this. Like, it's okay to be real. And I love that, you know? So Catherine O'Hara she embodied acting. Mm-hmm. If that's even,
yes,
you know, I don't know, it's a big thing to say, but she really
acting
did.
Without acting is kind of what we were taught in theater, is like, you don't get up there and act. And that's kind of what she showed, I think, perfectly. More than most people can do. You're not acting, you're being.
She also didn't do the Hollywood thing too of chasing youth. She leaned into the experience. She wasn't pretending to be 25 years old, you know, embodying a woman who has lived. That's what she's doing. That's powerful in an industry obsessed with
stay young. Stay young. But she played Moira as a person who was like, well, I can still stay young. And that's, again, Moira's character wanting to do that and playing that authentically made it funny. Yeah.
She had confidence. And that takes a lot of that too. And it was like, she didn't care. Like I said, she wasn't trying to do this. So do you think Moira knew exactly what she was doing the whole time? I'm not talking about Catherine O'Hara. I'm talking about Moira as a character.
The character.
Yeah. Did she know at least a little bit, or what? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, that's a really interesting question to kind of delve deeper into. Obviously, when the series starts, the actors are still figuring out these characters and trying to figure it out. So you get like really kind of surface level. Rich woman becomes poor. This is how a rich woman would act if they became poor. And what I love is that you see this just layer by layer, these hilarious human moments. For example, when she talks about making the recipe. What was the recipe that her and David were making that was like fold in the cheese? The famous scene. But what I love about that episode is that she's like, I used to make this recipe all the time. I wasn't always rich. I wasn't always provided with everything. And then you get all of these layers to it. So then it does kind of come back to your question of like, did she know? Did she know what she was doing and how she was bringing that, all that past and all of that, who she was, into the situations that she was in or what she found herself in. And I love that Catherine O'Hara was so generous with her scenes. It wasn't always just, here's going to be this funny part that I have. It was always, how can I bring this to this interaction with this other character? And that always played out really well. Too.
The cultural impact of this show was incredible too. Like, it swept the Emmys. There's global fandom. quotes on coffee mugs. It's getting the Office treatment, really. Like, that's what this show has done. And it's another one of those that did it kind of after its run. Like, as time goes on, this show gets more popular. More people get to see it. More people talk about it. And we get to see Catherine O'Hara do her thing, along with Eugene Levy and everybody else. But we love what they all did. And this show, overall, it just gave emotional permission. It normalized love without a spectacle. All the things we talked about earlier. Normalized everything without ridicule. And that's crazy. That's something we could live off of right now. But yeah, that's Schitt's Creek kind of wrapped up. We might do a deeper dive on Schitt's Creek at some point. I think we should.
Yeah, there's a lot more to the series that we could go into about family and the sharing of time and kind of the theme or the depiction of it's never too late. I think that's kind of what hits me in the face sometimes is I'm like, am I spending enough time with my children? Am I really connecting with my children? And you can see that the Roses didn't really connect at all. I mean, there's plenty of times where they show examples of thinking they had gone to Alexis's graduation only to find out she never graduated and that wasn't her. And they took a picture with some other random person. I mean, obviously not as connected when they had all their wealth. But then this is an opportunity for them to have really authentically connected with each other and become a family with the children as adults. And I love that theme. And I will say, if you're looking for more Catherine O'Hara, and I think this may have been one of the last things that she filmed, I just caught a half of the movie Argyle last night, and she plays the mother in that. So I wanted to give people something else to watch if they were looking for more of her. She's
also got 2025 episodes of The Last of Us. She was in that video game remake or show, television show based off of. She was in the studio, that Seth Rogen project on Apple TV. Oh, yeah. And she's got one more project that's in post-production called The Shadow King, and it's voice work. So we'll be on the lookout for that.
More of her to come.
Yeah, so there's a little more Catherine O'Hara out there to still be released. R.I.P. It's tough.
What a legacy.
Legacy.
And we share a birthday, by the way. So March 4th, happy birthday, Catherine O'Hara, and my Pisces twin. So I have a special affinity to her for that as well.
Well, there you go. That's Catherine O'Hara on Wistful Wednesday. What do we got tomorrow? Trailer Park Thursday tomorrow. Podcast discovery. Let's come out here. Come check it out. We'll play some random podcasts. We'll react to them. And then Feature Friday coming up. What's on Feature Friday? Well, we got Black Phone.
That's right.
Black Phone. Ooh,
1 and 2. So get all caught up, everybody. Watch your 1 and 2. Binge watch all. Get ready.
Get ready. Just Blane Coco, Parallel Frequencies. We'll catch you on the other side.
See ya.